everyone. Hi. Hello, hello. Welcome. What day is it? What day are we? Wednesday. Hi, you guys. I'm going to wait a few minutes or a few seconds. Hi, Chad. Hi, Yogi MD. So excited for your show with those 4 doctors. The 3 doctors. Well, you're a doctor too, 4 doctors. All right, I wanted to share with you guys something that came through tonight in my Q&A that I did with my thank you for the badge, J something sister. Thank you so much for the badge. I want to quickly jump on. I'm not going to stay on for very long, but I think this is a really important message for us right now. I love you too, Kat. I was doing a Q&A in my Patreon, and this message came up. Thank you for the badge. Thank you, Jessica. This message came in for every single person. So it's got to be a theme. Here it is. All right. You know, my favorite topic to talk about is this evolution in human consciousness that we're going through. And it is something that we have never experienced before in the human journey. And so it's new. We don't know what this is like. We don't know how to do it. And we have nothing to look at. You know, we don't have a book to read. We don't have somebody else that's gone through it. So we are in the dark. And every single one of you is evolving. And so what this means is that many of you are experiencing moments or days or weeks or months where you are literally like, WTF, what is this? What am I in? What am I experiencing? How do I navigate this? Why am I continuing to feel out of control? Where is this anxiety coming from? Why do I feel like never talking to my parents again? Why did I just get married 6 months ago and now I legit don't want to be married? Like massive shifting in ways that I believe we never have before. I want to state one thing first before I go into why I jumped on. If you guys are experiencing anxiety right now, okay? Some of you may always be kind of having an underlying sense of anxiety. Anxiety for many of us right now stems from the notion that we are being asked by ourselves to let go of control. Okay? When you move into higher vibrational frequencies in your body, which is what you are experiencing right now, your body is shifting into higher frequencies. When this happens, you have to abide by the pseudo rules, okay, that exist in those higher frequencies, the ways of being in the higher frequencies. One of the ways of being in these higher frequencies is that you can't control life. You have to simultaneously learn how to let go of controlling the outcome of anything, including individuals, and yet simultaneously learn how to create from a now moment. And because this is being kind of forced upon many of us right now, because our bodies are holding higher frequencies, so you're already in this higher frequency unbeknownst to you. And because you're in this higher frequency, your body's like, hey, these are the new ways that we do things. And you're like, holy cow, I have to let go of control. Wait a second. I no longer have control over these things. And then the anxiety sets in. So anxiety is just simply a reaction that your body is giving you to this powerful new frequency that you're holding. It's not a bad thing. Okay, now I'm not talking about severe anxiety and anxiety attacks and things that like people are dealing with and they have dealt with for most of their life. I'm talking about somebody that has most recently begun feeling a lot of anxiety and it's not a normal thing that they feel. Okay, I want to preface that. But the anxiety, if that's you, right, is showing you or indicating that you are being asked to let go of more control. And holy cow, what the freak, that's challenging. So just know that that is a lot of where the anxiety is coming from, okay? But here's the deeper message that I wanted to come on and share with you all, because this is such an exciting time. We are literally evolving. You are currently right now moving into new versions of you, whether you understand what that means or not, based on frequency. And by the way, you're not in charge. You're not controlling your frequency. If you think that you're in control of your frequency, you will literally be holding yourself back from the natural process of evolution and evolving into higher frequencies. You are not in control of this process. The you, that's the ego that has always been in control. All right, so here we go. There are two versions of you simultaneously existing right now, maybe more. But there's very much two versions of you, okay? And one of the versions of you has been in a frequency that has kind of been vibrating around like a 3.4 to a 3.8, let's just say, okay? I'm throwing out numbers. That isn't a real number. But it's a frequency band that your body's been in. So you have been living in a specific way for most of your life. I'm not saying there hasn't been massive shifts that have happened, Kundalini awakenings, all of this stuff that we label. But what I am saying that for most of your life, you have been living a very sort of similar life. What is occurring right now in a massive OMG way is that you are being catapulted energetically like a slingshot into a newer version of you, the new human, the upgraded human. Literally overnight for some of you. And you are finding yourself standing in a new aspect, a new part of you, a new you that is having to navigate life very differently because the frequency in this body now is higher. So let's say it has catapulted to a 4.6 to a 4.8 or something, right? Two very different frequencies that you are currently simultaneously jumping back and forth with. What I mean by jumping back and forth is your awareness of you is moving between those two versions. And what is happening is that you are continuing to be shown by you the older version of you and how you have lived, how you have been with your family, how you've been with your spouse, how you've been with your job, the way you have viewed your experiences, the lens that you have used to navigate everything. You're being shown that right now over and over and over again. But you are standing in a new awareness. Do you understand how freaky this is? So you are literally watching you from a higher version playing in the old version. Do you guys get that? You're no longer stuck in the old version necessarily, okay? Because you're holding a higher frequency. But you're watching yourself play in the older version. And many of you are sort of playing a victim, right? Or like, I don't know how I'm in this again, or I don't know why I'm in this, or I can't get out of this, or blah, blah, blah. I want you to pay attention to the fact that you already are out of it. You already are out of it. You're just being shown this old version to consciously make the decision to step out of it. You see, frequency shifts first, then awareness, and then choice. I'm going to say that again. Your frequency will shift first. The human collective consciousness out there, it's going to shift first. Okay? Then, once the frequency shifts, all right, then what happens is that you become the observer. Now you're observing yourself. Most of you are starting to observe yourself. Once you observe yourself, then you start to choose. And once you choose, the physical world changes around you. You can't do it any other way. So currently, most of you your frequency has shifted. You're done. Not done, it's the beginning, but you've shifted your frequency. You've become the observer. Many of you are observing yourself doing old things. Many of you are in relationships that you don't necessarily want to be in, and you're going back and forth like a seesaw, and you think you're losing your mind. You find yourself going back to old relationships, going back to old things. You're like, what the hell am I doing? This doesn't resonate anymore. Because you know, as the observer, in this new frequency, this doesn't resonate, but you continue to go back because you have to choose. Frequency shifts first, then you observe, and then you choose. So you are being asked now. All of you are in a new frequency. All of you are most likely the observer now. And you have literally you're thinking to yourself, I legit think I may have lost my mind based on everything I'm going through, how I'm navigating the world, right? Maybe not all of you, but a lot of us. And this could be subtle. This could be in just one area of your life. It doesn't have to be your whole life, right? But you're going to notice this. So you're being asked to choose now. You're being asked to choose. If you have been homeless and you continue to be homeless, that is an old version of you. If you are in codependent relationships, that is an old version of you. If you are continuing to live in lack, that is an old version of you. If you are in a passive-aggressive narcissistic relationship, that is an old version of you. Do you understand? You are living in an old version of you right now while you are simultaneously holding a higher frequency capable of living in new ways because that frequency is holding it for you. You just have to choose. You have to start choosing. The other thing that's happening, this like blows my mind. This whole thing blows my mind. I'm in awe. The other thing that's starting to happen, aside from you having to let go of control, is that a lot of you are going to find yourself, if you haven't already, in like a numbness, or like nothing is enticing. Nothing is interesting. Nothing is exciting, right? It's kind of like this, like flatlining, okay? Another thing that you're going to start noticing, if you haven't already noticed, is that the everything that has provided you with emotional states. Okay, so you used to go to the movies and you'd feel really good at the movies. You used to go to this pizza place and you used to feel really good at the pizza place. You used to go shopping and the shopping would bring you so much joy. What you're going to notice is that all the things in the external world that used to bring you emotional states are no longer going to bring you the emotional states, because you are being asked to detach from them, to let them go, so that you can find the emotional states within you, the states of being within you, without the need for anything external to give it to you. We are designed as these new kind of upgraded humans to not have an attachment to the external world in order to provide us with emotional states or states of being, peace or joy or excitement. You know, that is not to say, okay, that external things are going to excite you, or external things are going to give you love, or external things are going to make you happy. Of course they are. We are human. And that's one of the greatest, beautiful things about being human, is that we have things in the physical world that we get to experience and they elicit emotional states in us. The key is that you are going to stop attaching to them, which means that you will stop needing them in order to provide you with the natural states of being that you are designed to have within you, which means that you're going to feel this state of like, blah. I don't want to do these things. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to go do there. I don't want to do that. Everything's just going to become pulled from you. Life's going to get very simple, maybe boring, right? You're going to watch the world around you kind of continue going, and you're going to feel like you're no longer a part of it. Like you don't exist in it. You don't belong in it anymore. That's evolution. That is you evolving. There's nothing wrong with it. That is you moving into higher frequencies and learning how to be in this. You're learning how to adjust to these new ways. You're learning how to follow your resonance when you are still playing in old patterns. That's why so many of us right now are being pushed up against a wall, having to make really tough decisions. Because we are still living in old versions when we are already currently holding higher frequencies. And more of us, thank God, are starting to experience this, which is the greatest gift, because we don't feel so alone. We don't feel so crazy. So all of this to say, pay attention to the things that are like, I'm still in this. I'm still experiencing this. I'm still feeling this. You're not handcuffed to any of it. It's an old version of you that you are showing you so that you can choose to be in the new states, the new ways of being that you are already holding in your body. You don't need to meditate more. You don't need to raise your vibration. You don't need to drink more green juices and, do all these things that you think are going to increase your frequency. It's happening naturally. Chill out. The less you try to control anything, the less you try to get somewhere, the easier all of this is, the more you flow, the more you're in ease and grace, and the faster you actually shift. You actually shift faster, not that you're trying to, but you actually kind of move into these higher states and start practicing being in these higher states when you stop trying to go anywhere. You stop trying to say, I'm going to raise my vibration. That's your ego, and the ego can't do it. The body does it. It's the body that's shifting, not you. You're not shifting. You're just experiencing the shift as a consciousness inside the body, or as an egoic structure, or as the higher self. And the more you try to control this, the more you will stay in the older versions. The more you will be fighting against what is necessary to evolve. Because what is necessary to evolve isn't easy. It is not easy to step into this new way of being. We've never done it. We don't know how to do it. And there's nobody ahead of us to show us. It requires courage and compassion and baby steps and saying OMG, and it's deep surrendering, which is receptivity to everything. It's staying present. It's not trying to figure out what's coming or why it's coming. In fact, the easiest way through this, from my experience, is to be receptive to everything that is showing up right here, right now. Receptive to me is surrendering. The more that I surrender or receive what is being presented to me by me in this now moment and the next moment and the next moment, then that is all I need to do. I feel it, I experience it, I see it. I honor it. I don't control it. This idea in the world of controlling your emotions is absurd to me. Like, it makes me sad. Because again, any type of control is holding you in lower frequencies. Every single thing that you feel is designed to not only move out of your body, but it's designed to show you where you've been, who you want to be now, and where you're going. And if you try to control your emotions, you're trying to control your evolution. You're trying to control energy and the way that energy shifts. You see, we were not taught that we're going through an evolution. So we didn't know better. Of course we want to control our emotions. Of course we want to do all of these things where we stay in control. Because we didn't remember that we are going through a massive physical evolutionary shift in human consciousness that starts energetically and moves to the physical world. And the only way that happens is that you look at what is presenting itself right here, right now, in your moment. Emotions, thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, experiences, breakups, arguments, resonance. And you observe it, and you feel it, and you experience it, and you watch it, and you allow it to move through you by just feeling it. When you control things, you anchor it into your reality. It's like going down a river. You're in flow. Life's good. Big fat boulder comes. Some sort of limiting belief, low self-consciousness, I don't know. And you're like, oh, hell no. This boulder needs to move. I don't want this boulder here. I don't like this boulder. I don't like low self-esteem. Right? I don't like codependent relationships. I don't like lack. I don't like abandonment things, whatever it is. So you try in the flow of the river to pick up the boulder. And what does that do when you pick up the boulder? You've stopped. You are now anchored in a moment that was never designed for you to stop and anchor into it. Now you're grabbing a boulder that you are not designed to change or move. It's a natural process of evolution as you move through a river. But you think egoically, this is in the way. It's going to hurt me. Let me figure out how to move it out of my way. Let me try to figure out how to get rid of low self-esteem. Let me figure out how to get rid of anger or rage or whatever it is. Right? Limiting beliefs of unworthiness. No. You say, holy shit, that's a huge ass boulder. That's going to hurt. This is the natural process. Here I go. Holy Moses. And then you bump into it and you see the low self-worth or the unworthiness or whatever you have. And you say, wow, you have been massive in my life. Wow. You've controlled so much of this flow of this river. I have held on to you for so long thinking that I can change you or not even realizing that the boulder was there. Anchoring you in, not allowing you to flow. As soon as these things come in, you recognize immediately it's an opportunity for evolution. Immediately it's an opportunity for evolution. You recognize that you are not the behaviors or the limiting beliefs or the codependent relationships that you've been in, because guess what? It's an old version of you. Okay, great. You invite these versions of you to the dinner table. And the you that's the observer, the higher self, or the spirit or the consciousness, the one that is observing everything else, puts these limiting beliefs in place by saying, listen, I hear you. I see you. I understand that you have been extremely loud my whole life. God bless you. But you need to sit down at the dinner table and zip it. And you do that with love. You do that with compassion. You do not turn your back and shun it. All of these things that are coming up for you right now, whatever they may be, are being asked to be integrated into you as whole, which means that you don't get rid of it. It means that you honor everything you've gone through. And you remember that you are evolving into higher states of consciousness. And you remember that everything is a choice and that you are in control of this by letting go of control. You are in control of all of this by letting go of trying to control it. The moment you find yourself trying to change something, pay attention. I'm telling you right now, if you stop trying to change anything that is coming up, but instead you embrace it, you feel it, you honor it, you acknowledge it, and you recognize that it is unequivocally, without a doubt, an old version of you. You will allow it to just be. You will observe it as not you, but an experience or a version in the past. And you will start to choose. You will start to choose a new way. And everything that is being asked of you right now, in these new frequencies you're holding, is the complete opposite of how you have been in any other moment in your life. How you are going to be going forward is very different than how you have been. And this can be subtle or it can be dramatic. It depends on where you are in your life and what you're dealing with and what you're looking at and what you're observing. But make no mistake. Make no mistake that you are most likely living in an old version of you right now, recognizing that you are because you're currently holding higher frequencies in your body. And there is nothing wrong with you. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you needing to set boundaries. There's nothing wrong with you feeling like I just got married a year ago and now I do not resonate with this person at all. There's nothing wrong with the fact that you have left 5 jobs in 1 year. There's nothing wrong with the fact that you are unable to make a decision and you can't commit to anything. There is nothing wrong with you no longer wanting to do the things that your friends and family, there's nothing wrong with you. You're evolving. And you don't know what you're doing, so you're judging yourself. And judgment will hold you back in that old version. And there's nothing wrong with being held back in the old version because we do it all the time. We're still in it. It's like a flip-flop back and forth. You just want to consciously observe, am I judging myself? Am I controlling things? If you're always looking at everything as like, oh my God, this is an old version. What do I, and you're looking at your life right now and it feels very weird. You're stuck. Nothing inspires you. You have no inspiration. You don't want to be around a lot of people. Yes. Welcome to your evolution. Good job. Keep going. Nothing is stagnant. You are energetic. This entire world is energetic. And guess what? Energy always moves. So if you feel stagnant, stuck, it just means that a part of you, an aspect of you is trying to figure out how the heck you do this. So you need a timeout. You're in a new frequency that you've never been in. So these pauses, these timeouts, these like moments where you're like, I have no inspiration, I have nothing going on, I have no direction, I have no passion. Bravo. Welcome to your evolution. You need to chill because you have no idea how to be in this new frequency. You're learning. And yes, you're going to be okay. We are moving into higher states of consciousness, which means that we are starting to live in a more peaceful state, in a more abundant state, in a more present state, in a more loving state, in a more compassionate and empathic state, in a more sovereign state. I mean, this is what we're doing. But it's not easy, because it requires you to choose to be out of that old thing that's very comfortable. And it requires you to practice being in new ways. And I'm telling you, based on my own experience of really practicing this all day long, I mean, I don't really do much other than this, right? I don't have a relationship right now. I don't have a dog or a cat or a bird or a snake. Nothing. So I am watching and observing and completely committed to whatever this is. I call it evolution, but whatever this is. And so what I'm constantly watching is how quiet life's starting to get, how subtle things are becoming for me, meaning like there's not these ups and downs, there's not these super highs and super lows. I'm recognizing that throughout my day, I will feel joy or peace, anxiety. I will feel these things for no reason. No reason. I am creating my own reality and my own world from internal. That's what I'm noticing. I'm also noticing that I feel as if I am watching the world, but I'm not really in it, even though I'm in it. I'm watching things get really, really slow while I step out of time. So the other thing that we're all recognizing is that when we start to move into higher frequencies, you literally pull yourself out of time. So you no longer really experience time. So it's a glitchy kind of weird thing that you start feeling, right? You stop needing a lot of things. It's weird. It's like you're hungry, so you'll go get something to eat, but it's not as important anymore. And like there's just not a lot of you guys will say like, I don't have a lot of passion for things anymore, or nothing's exciting to me. It's more of just you getting used to not responding to the external world. You know, it's responding to your own internal world. That's really what it is. You're responding to your own internal world. And that's what we're designed to do. We're designed to learn how to do that. You know? So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I just am so proud of us, because this is such a powerful time in our history. And this has never been done. This evolution in human consciousness has never been done. And you're doing it. You are, whether you understand what I'm saying or not, you're currently experiencing it with your eyes closed. You have blinders on. You don't really understand what you're doing or how you're doing it, but you're doing it. You're doing it. And everything is going to continue to become new. And so you don't want to judge yourself. You don't want to judge others. You definitely don't want to tell other people to come along with you. No way. Let them do their thing. Let them be their thing. We're going to start watching ourselves experience a world that is very different from a lot of other people. It's going to be energetic at first, and then it'll look physical. So we have to allow this process to unravel for everyone the way it needs to unravel. So anyway, I will save this. And we've never done an evolution like this in a physical body. So no, we've never done this. This has never been done the way it's being done. What I mean by that is when you are a consciousness, which you are, okay, It's much harder to shift a consciousness, shift the frequency of a consciousness when it's in a physical form. Because the physical form has to shift in order for the consciousness to shift. So when you're in a higher state of consciousness, when you're vibrating a much higher frequency out of physicality, you can change your state of consciousness. You can change your state of being. You can change just like this because you're not in a physical form. Okay, so what you're doing right now has never been done before. You are a consciousness in a very dense, the densest physical reality you can be in. And that physical form is shifting frequencies. While you, as a higher consciousness, are hanging out in it, going along for the ride. It's insane. Usually, it's the consciousness, the spirit, the soul that shifts, not the physical body. It's very different. And definitely not from a third dimensional frequency. Definitely not. This is the lowest physical state that you can be in. And it takes a hell of a lot of energy to shift it. So if you're exhausted, you're evolving. If you're getting sick, you're evolving. Right? If you're lethargic, you're evolving. Everything is evolution. No, consciousness is not the soul. The soul is an experience and an expression in the human journey. It is not consciousness. Consciousness can be found in the soul, but consciousness is outside of the soul. For sure. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for all of the badges. I appreciate it. I love you all. I'm going to save this. It'll be on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. If you missed it, go back to the beginning. I just wanted to share this message. Hopefully it helps. It helps you understand what you're going through. And yeah, that's it. I love you guys so much. Take care of yourself. Be gentle with yourself. And I'll see you next time.